Hello, this is Bruce Ludeman with HangarBuddies.net, talking to you from Independence, Missouri on the east side of Kansas City. One of the things that have come up in a discussion on the Facebook page is insurance. Now, insurance is really boring, and a lot of times people will just sign on the dotted line wherever the insurance agent tells them to without reading the details. Where the details are really critical is if there is an incident, a claim, and that's when details get really important. You can get different levels of insurance. There's insurance for just the haul. There's insurance for in-flight damage. In-flight damage would also include landings and takeoffs. There's also liability policies if a passenger is injured during a in-flight incident. So be sure to specify with your insurance agent, and the agent should ask you what level do you want, because it can get really complicated. Of course, it'll vary a little bit on the size of the aircraft, how many passengers you can take, the purpose that you're using the aircraft, and like I say, it can get very detailed. Now, an insurance company will allow 5 co-owners or pilots on one policy. If there are 6 or more co-owners / pilots, then the insurance company is going to call it a flying club, and that's a whole nother set of rules and regulations, and also much higher cost. Now, of the 5 co-owners and pilots, 4 are usually named pilots. You'll need to name them on the insurance policy, not on the FAA title. That'll be under a business name, or not a business name, but a LLC title. But on the insurance policy, you'll need to name the pilots, and the insurance company will also tell you at what level they will insure the pilots for. In other words, what level they can qualify at to fly the particular aircraft. Now, that may vary, again, depending on the complexity of the aircraft. Oftentimes, an insurance company will require 3 to 5 hours of dual in type or a similar type in order to be insurable in the co-owned aircraft. Now, that's assuming that they don't have otherwise applicable flight hours. They may also require, and this is something fairly recent, the insurance company may also require 10 to 15 to maybe 20 takeoffs and landings in type, and that would include perhaps some night landings and also crosswind landings. Those would be signed off by a flight instructor. Now, again, the 4 pilots, co-owners pilots, will probably have to be named. The 5th co-owner pilot will be unnamed, and that unnamed pilot is usually a flight instructor that may be working specifically with a partnership, or it may be a mechanic that will need to take the aircraft up for a maintenance flight. The issue with insurance is always insure your aircraft for its worth. Do not under-insure it. The insurance companies will love to take your policy, and maybe your aircraft is $50,000 and you only insure it for $35,000, thinking if I do any damage to the aircraft, it's going to be less than $35,000. What's going to happen if there would be an incident? I just about guarantee you that the damage, if it comes to $35,000 or more, easily more, that insurance company is going to say, here's your check for what you insured it for. We've got salvage rights on the airplane. We're going to take the remains. See you later. What the insurance company is going to do, they're either going to salvage it or they'll repair it back. And guess what? They'll sell those parts or that repaired aircraft for much more than you insured it. So you just sold a $50,000 aircraft for $35,000. So insure that aircraft, that co-owned aircraft, for what it's worth. Now, what you should do every year, especially before renewal comes about for the insurance policy, is have the aircraft appraised. And you can use a professional appraiser, use a local mechanic, an aircraft broker to give you some idea of what you should insure the haul value for that aircraft. Now, when I'm talking about insurance, that is for end-numbered. You cannot get insurance for a Part 103 aircraft or an ultralight. The aircraft doesn't have an end number on it. It cannot be insured for any kind of hull damage. The only policy available for ultralights would be through the United States Ultralight Association, and that is for liability only. Liability only would be if you landed on top of a building or something or someone that you weren't supposed to land on top of, and there would be a claim, then that's what the liability insurance would be for your Part 103 aircraft. Part 103 aircraft are usually not insurable because, well, they're just not worth that much to the insurance company. So hopefully these little tips are helpful. If you have any questions, please leave a comment on the Facebook page. Have a great day flying. We'll talk to you soon.